Welcome to Bank on Her. I'm Mackenzie Conklin, and I teach you how to make confidence a strength in and out of your business so you can build self-made wealth and unrealistic success on your terms. I've gone from defeatingly low self-worth to a multiple six-figure entrepreneur by learning how to bank on myself, and I believe you can do it too. Listen to find out how. Hey everyone, today's one of those days where I've lost my voice for half the time. All day long, I was so tired. I laid on my floor at around 6:20 with 10 minutes before a 2-hour meeting tonight, talking to my friend, just saying how tired I was. And it is now 10:21 p.m. and I've somehow found a spur of energy and now want to record this podcast. So, you know what? I'm just going to trust my gut, use the energy I've got, and let's get into today's episode. So, we're going to go with it. So today's episode is all about marketing, some beliefs I have around marketing, and how it can be such a force for good, but also can be unintentionally, let me be very clear, unintentionally unsupportive at times. So I am someone who has been very deep into marketing for a long time. I worked in marketing. I consume a lot of marketing just as someone, especially with today's world, there's marketing literally everywhere. And as someone who now markets every single day, sometimes multiple times a day for my business, I'm going to share my truth on what I think about marketing. I want you to take what fits and leave what doesn't. Let me be clear. And I'd like to preface with, specifically in the realm of the self-help industry, I believe the intention is always good. I believe self-help industry, coaching, holding space for another person is healing. I believe it opens another person up to their magic and helps them tap into their power, their beauty, their intelligence, their worth, and their desire from a less shamed place. It's really what I think the self-help, the coaching industry, and holding space for another, even if just a friend, does. And I think that's so, so powerful. A few other beliefs I hold going into this episode is that I believe people are inherently good. I really, really do. I believe that even unsupportive marketing, which we will talk a little bit about today, still comes from a place of good. The second belief is that everything is marketing. And even in my business, everything I do is marketing. And so I think everything in the world really is also marketing. So the third belief that this leads into is marketing is powerful. Because it's powerful, it can be used in supportive ways or unintentionally, again, I believe people are good, so unintentionally unsupportive ways. I think marketing, in very simplistic terms, taking all the nuance out, will either make people believe that the identity, state, thing, lifestyle, goal they desire is either A, more possible, or B, more possible with the help of something or someone else. I want you, go rewind 15 seconds if you need to rehear that one again, but I would love for you to listen to this episode from the lens of both a consumer who is marketed to from every single freaking angle in your life, from what you should wear to what your body should look like. This is especially as a woman. I know it's men too, actually. What you should wear, what your body should look like, how you should act, what will make you most desirable as a human, even a friend or for a job, whatever, how to act, what will make you most loved, right? I want you to listen from that lens with this episode. But also, if you're a business owner, I'd also like you to listen through the lens of both the consumer and someone who actively is marketing to others. So I want to explain a little bit more what I meant by marketing will either A, make things seem more possible, or versus the marketing that makes things seem more possible with the help of something or someone else. So I like to do my absolute best using marketing for good in supportive ways. And what I mean by this is I do my very best to have people believe through my marketing that what they desire, usually for my specific clients, they desire confidence and wealth. So I like them to believe that through my marketing, confidence and wealth are more possible just through breathing the air of my marketing. So just by being in a space, just by seeing a post, just by seeing anything that I do, breathing the air of my marketing, I want them to feel like confidence and wealth are more possible, period. I will also say I am a human with my own thoughts and opinions, talking to other humans with their own thoughts and opinions. So inevitably, it might not always be the case, right? That it feels more possible because of my marketing, but I try my very best. Then there's also marketing that subliminally and unintentionally may send the message that in order for a person to tap into their intelligence, power, worth, desire they have, whether that be desire for a different body or a relationship, a profitable business, hitting a goal, whatever, that in order to tap into all of that, they must fix themselves, better themselves, or trust someone else in order to tap into that goodness. And I want to say this isn't false, bad, or wrong. So, for example, if I want to learn more Italian, yes, it is very likely that I will need an Italian dictionary. I would need a language app or a software. I would need a tutor to learn, right? There's no harm done there. I can't, I wish I could. I can't just magically snap my fingers and learn more Italian. So it's not necessarily wrong or bad or false that you might need something else to get to that desire, right? But where this can go wrong, I want to go back to what I said. They must fix or better themselves or trust someone else in order to tap into that goodness. So, where this can go wrong, especially with women or marginalized identities who have been made to believe through cultural conditioning, systems of oppression, bias, people believe that shame. And that's what it is, shame. If we think we have to fix ourselves, better ourselves, or if we are inherently not trustworthy and someone else is more trustworthy than us, that's actually shame, right? So where this can go wrong and marketing can become unsupportive is if the marketing, again, unintentionally, actually has people experience more shame. And so I actually, this does happen a lot when we're investing, when we're watching marketing of all kinds. We feel like we're not good enough because we don't have that thing, that lifestyle identity ideal yet, right? And that's not, we're going to get into this, but it's not necessarily that business's fault either. It can just be the shame, right? So fixing yourself, bettering yourself, trusting someone else over yourself, believing that via marketing inherently sends the message to your consumer or to you as a consumer, something about me is untrustworthy or wrong or needing to be fixed, or in other words, something about me is broken. And marketing, again, can unintentionally perpetuate this. So making purchases due to marketing, right? We usually see marketing and then we buy something. So purchasing or investing from a place of believing that we need to be fixed will often deepen the belief that something about us is inherently wrong, broken, or shameful. Let me go off on a little bit of a tangent here. So I'm going to talk about what I know, which is confidence and business, right? So if someone comes to me, actually, let's go confidence. If someone comes to me wanting to gain confidence, just stick with me through this. We'll come back to the marketing thing in a minute. If someone comes to me wanting to gain confidence in order to quote unquote feel better about themselves, it's not bad. But what I found through working with so many women and going through my own confidence journey for so freaking long is that 9 times out of 10, the sentiment behind wanting to feel better is more of the flavor of something about me isn't enough and I want to feel enough. And it comes from the shame of believing something is wrong, lacking, inherently insufficient about you. That's where 9 times out of 10, the desire for confidence comes from. Rather than that 10th time where it comes from the energy of, I'd like to learn how to love myself more as is, not changing a single hair on my head, and feeling sufficient in all that I've been shamed into believing is insufficient. Do you feel the difference in that? And so I believe confidence is the latter. I believe it's not fixing yourself or, being perceived a certain way. It's not that. It's I'd like to learn how to love myself as is, not changing a single thing about me, and feeling sufficient in all that I've been shamed to believe is insufficient. So I coached people towards the latter. And it's funny. Funny's an interesting word for it. I've spent most of my adolescent and adult life silently studying confidence and how to achieve it. I have read the books, I've done all the things. And what I can tell you from over a decade of really wanting to be a confident person and just not getting why it couldn't be me is that most of the general advice and knowledge will be something like think better thoughts about yourself, feel better about yourself. And, it's not wrong. It really isn't. But what that generally does, and again, I've been through it all, guys. I've tried everything in terms of becoming more confident. What it generally does is have people think better thoughts about the parts of them that cultural conditioning, systems of oppression, bias, and life experiences have taught them are acceptable. And at the same time, they'll often neglect the more shameful, uncomfortable, diverse, doesn't fit the mold parts of them. So I see it all the time. And it's so sad, but I remember being younger and going through ups and downs of feeling more confident in my body when it looked like what I thought it was supposed to look like, when it looked smaller, when it looked thinner, when it looked leaner, and losing that confidence when it didn't, right? And so that's not really confidence. That's just, hey, I've found a way to love myself because something is what I believe it should be, right? That's not actually confidence. And I will see very early on when my clients come to me, if they hit a big month, they'll feel confident. They'll feel like everything's going really well. When 2 days ago, they were feeling like shit. And that's not confidence. That's just performative. That's I am doing the things that will make me feel better, right? It looks like I don't need to be fixed as much. And that's not confidence, right? And I want you to start thinking as confidence as I feel sufficient and whole, and I'm cool with all parts of myself, even the icky, weird, uncomfortable, non-mainstream parts. I found that, and all I did for my quest for confidence all the years before I really learned how to master it, it would have me feel more shame for the perceived lack. So if we go back to the example of my body, if I gain 5 pounds, which I'm 5'2", 5 pounds looks a little bit different than if I were taller, right? I would feel shame when that happened because it wasn't really confidence. But the common advice I got was just think better thoughts, right? It's just the knowledge we've all been told around confidence. And in my work and in coaching with my clients around confidence, I don't want to change people. I don't want them to feel like they need to change or perform or shape shift, people please, do all these things. I don't teach them that. I don't teach them to put on this bravado of how to have better thoughts about themselves and neglect the insufficiencies and imperfections. What I do is my absolute best to have them love all parts of themselves. So let me give you a quick example, kind of an action with coaching, and then I'll take it back to the marketing that we started on. So I had a client the other day who was terrified of failing. And especially it was even more heightened because the arena in which she was operating on was very emotionally exposing. And so failure in itself is already emotionally exposing, but put yourself in marketing specifically where you go out and tell the world, hey world, I have this really great thing. I would like for you to, consider it. That's even more emotionally exposing. And so she was terrified of failing in business. And I asked her, what's it like being terrified of failing? Because I want to know more about the experience. Because again, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm not trying to make the failing go away, that feeling go away. I want it to go away, right? But I'm not going to try and act like it's bad or wrong. That's the very hint of shaming that I'm trying not to do with clients. So I asked, what's it like being terrified of failing? And she answered that, I'm paraphrasing here, but she answered that it feels like the whole world is pointing at her and calling her crazy, and that she's created this false sense of potential success in her head, and the world is telling her she's just absolutely crazy for believing it, and that everyone will tell her what she says and believes makes no sense, and that she's this hurricane. That was very interesting to me, the word hurricane. And so failure would be the confirmation of that hurricane of craziness, is what she was describing. And I asked her, hey, if I clear everyone away, there's no one to see you. There is no one to witness this. There isn't even shame in your head telling you how awful and crazy you are to be this hurricane. What would it just be like to be that hurricane without all the shame? In other words, what I actually asked her, right, is if the marketing of the world had, or like not even the marketing, but no, it is the marketing. But if the conditioning of the world had not shamed you into thinking it was wrong to be this hurricane, what would you do? What would that feel like? Who would you be? Right? I'm just asking her, what's it like without the shame? And when we sat with it and coached through it, what she ended up getting to with that question is a hurricane feels like power. It feels like greatness. It feels magnetic. It feels like great, massive impact. I am a hurricane. So I really want you to sit in this. So we started off being failure means I'm this crazy hurricane and everyone thinks I'm insane. And they're all laughing and pointing at me, and it's validating all the fears that I have in my head. Failing would validate everything of that. To seeing a hurricane, if I take away the shame, is this powerful, great magnetic thing. It has this massive impact. I am the hurricane. I am this powerful, great, massive magnetic impact. That's what it's like taking away the unsupportive shame or it's what happens when the unsupportive, quote unquote, marketing, conditioning, messaging of the world isn't there. So I really want you to see that our coaching didn't just make her believe that she should just, believe in yourself and it's not a failure. Like nothing's a failure. You're going to learn lessons, because none of that would be addressing the underlying insufficiency she was feeling. So I addressed it, right? We had her love being a hurricane because there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I really, really hope this is clicking for people, because I think this is why I said in the beginning, marketing is powerful and everything is marketing, right? And I love marketing. I think it's such a force and such a force for good. And I'm just a nerd for it. But I also think cultural conditioning can come through marketing, right? And so she's been made to believe in this example that, believing in herself would be crazy, right? But it doesn't have to be. If we remove the unsupportive marketing, there's a lot of good there. There's a lot of power and force and greatness there. And that's what I want to talk about more today. So let's pivot back to the marketing. If we are marketing or being marketed to as a consumer, the premise of buy this, we will fix what's wrong with you, or, join this program, we have better knowledge and information than what you have to get you successful, kind of sends the message, trust me more than you trust yourself, or this product will fix you. Even if it's correct, it can unintentionally, with someone who's already experiencing really deep insufficiency, perpetuate the cycle of trying to fix themselves. So at best with purchases like this, you'll get quote unquote fixed, but it will also let the idea that you needed to be fixed in the first place continue to exist. So let me think of an example. Let me give you a consumer example. Let's say I have uneven skin tone and the marketing for a makeup foundation tells me that I will have flawless, even skin with this foundation product. I will buy the product then, right? Even if it does exactly what it says it does, could that deepen someone's insecurity that they're not as beautiful without the foundation? With, they are more beautiful when their skin is even. Let me say too, this is all very hypothetical, but it's not the company's job to make sure that people feel pretty without their product. They'd probably make less sales, right? They don't want to not do that, but they also don't want to make consumers feel that the product's not needed. Ideally, you want to buy from companies where they're ethical and they're not deepening the insecurities directly. We probably want to buy from companies that are marketing in ways that make what we desire feel closer, going back to the beginning of what I said, right? There's marketing that makes what people desire feel closer. We want to buy from companies that make us feel good, really is what it is. So makeup's a really great example of this, because if we want to feel quote unquote prettier through an even skin tone, makeup and the marketing from makeup companies definitely effectively have us believe that we'll achieve that through their product. Trust me, my TikTok is purely makeup. What I'm saying here really as again, this is a consumer example, is that we have to watch our own shame and insufficiency that we've internalized to make sure we're not letting marketing deepen the sense of shame and self-lack. Now, let me give an example to the business owner. If we're selling, let's say, a coaching program and have marketing that's sending the message that our customers need us to be successful, or that without us, they wouldn't be as successful, or that the only way that they'll get what they desire and make it more possible is through purchasing our products, it is potentially and unintentionally sending the message that they need to be fixed, that what they have is not enough to help them succeed, that we are more trusting with our intelligence, power, and worth than theirs. What this can do is actually perpetuate that cycle for our customers, especially if they joined, again, let's say a coaching program, and they didn't get the results. They're going to think that they didn't get fixed, right? They're still, which inherently says they still needed to be fixed. They might think that they are not enough and unfixable. And they've probably deepened the belief that even if you fixed others, you couldn't fix them, right? So that deepens the shame. And what that does, and you see this a lot in with business coaching, is that people will invest in a program, and if it doesn't work, they'll go invest in more and then more and then more, because every cycle they're probably deepening the thought of something must be wrong with me. Someone else has the answers, right? But the problem's not the programs are joining. The problem's not anything except they're believing that they need to get something outside of them, that someone else has the answers. And we're going to talk about this with my program too, because I really, really try to counteract this. If you're a business owner listening to this, what I'm not saying is that you can't succeed if your marketing is of this flavor. I believe marketing should be incredibly ethical and supportive and help others get closer to what they desire without them ever paying you a penny. Without them ever paying you a penny, I really do think you should get them closer to what they desire. That's my philosophy. But what I'm trying to indicate is that don't listen to this episode and think, oh my God, my marketing makes people feel bad. Mackenzie says I can't succeed like this. And then perpetuate your own cycle of insufficiency. You're sufficient. Everyone listening to this is always, always, always sufficient. The real reason I actually even started this episode in the first place, believe it or not, because it's taken this crazy route, is to tell you how the marketing approach that I teach is different. I feel like I've gone about this such an indirect way. Similar to the coaching example that I gave with Confidence in the Hurricane, I really try to actively teach marketing in an ethical way that does not tell anyone how to be, how to exist, how to succeed, because that is what perpetuates others' feelings of shame, insufficiency, and lack of self-trust in their existence. And therefore, what ends up happening is people will try and shapeshift into the rules or what people say that they think will make them successful, right? So something I really pride myself in is, I don't know how other people see this, I really pride myself in it though, is that very often my clients do not heavily invest in other confidence or business coaches after working with me. Often they either keep working with me or after a few contracts together, go on their own. And it's incredibly common for my clients to say 12 to 18 months with me, and they're all richer for it. Let me be clear. They're not richer because they needed me to build richer lives and confidence, or because I've bettered them, but because they've found their own power and learned how to love themselves as is, not changing a single thing about them and feeling sufficient in all they've been shamed to believe is insufficient about them. Because I've helped them restore the trust they have in themselves, they didn't become dependent on me. They didn't leave the marketing container thinking they needed me. They didn't join the marketing container, by the way, thinking they needed me to help them be successful, because I really try to market from that energy of it's more possible, period. They leave the container trusting their own experience and intuition more after working together. They don't feel that this gap must be filled with knowledge and fix it from, another program, another anything. They're more healed. Through our work, they've tapped into their intelligence and power and worth and desire, and they understand there's nothing to be fixed, bettered, or changed. So with Confident Marketing, which is the approach I teach inside of my signature program, Unlimited, it's marketing from a place of sufficiency. It is marketing with your fullest authentic expression. It is, for example, with my client, marketing yourself as that hurricane, not marketing while suppressing, the very real parts of who you are in your nature. It's coming to the table with your whole self. And in a world where marketing is everywhere and so much of marketing tells us how to be, my approach tells you how to be yourself. What it takes to go from feeling insufficient and feeling like you need these things to better yourself or to be successful. One of the massive things we do in this program is decondition from the rules that made you feel that way, the rules that told you there's one way to succeed. It takes marketing from a place of your indisputable intelligence and experience and unapologetic, audacious self-belief that may have eroded with time. And with confident marketing inside of Unlimited, we teach marketing in a way that simultaneously helps you heal your shame, fear, trauma around being seen while eliminating the self-doubt. It is marketing as a full expression of you, where you bring all of that magic to the table. So today, the question that I really want to ask, the 3 questions rather, for those listening is, where can you market as your whole self? Not what others told you to be, not what others told you to do to be successful. If you knew that being your full self, being the most you that you could be, was the most profitable thing that you could do, where can you market as your whole self? The second question is, where can you market differently so that it is so evidently clear that your marketing brings people closer to what they desire, lifts them up, holds space for their full existence, and does so without them needing to rely on you, your products, or making them feel as if they need you or your products to be more sufficient. And then the third question is, where can you as a consumer existing in a world where marketing is powerful and everything is marketing, find your intelligence, beauty, power, wisdom, and worth inside of you without morphing, shrinking, shape-shifting, and shaming yourself? So this is really, really, really the power of what we do inside of Unlimited. Both sides of this, by the way, both with you and your confidence as a person, and the business side with the potency and healing strength of your marketing. Because again, I really want to go back to how I started this, which is I believe people are inherently good. Everything is marketing. Marketing is powerful. And I think with a lot of the businesses I support, you are doing good. You are opening other people up to their magic, helping them tap into their power, their beauty, intelligence, worth, and desire from a less shamed place. So what Unlimited really helps you do is have the confidence to live that out without the fear and the shame, and help you market from that ethical, whole, full, authentic expression place. And so inside of Unlimited, the program specifically, we really help female founders heal their shame, the fear, the doubt that tells them they're not enough, while helping them build audacious self-belief and the skills to create $100,000 on repeat through confident marketing. Because when we are our full selves, when we present ourselves to the world as we are, it's the most profitable thing we can do. That is why 100% of women who join this container leave 25% richer, both emotionally and financially. We get them richer on repeat. So with that little segue, I have some exciting news. Actually, a few things. So really quick, I have one-to-one spots open. If you're a female deeply craving to work on her confidence, or you are a business owner really wanting the confidence and the business support, come chat with me. I also have links in the show notes you can go to. But the more exciting news, I am hosting a free live webinar called Richer on Repeat: How to Create Unrealistic Success with Confident Marketing as a Female Founder. And that will be on Tuesday, November 1st at 3 p.m. EST. So Eastern time, just in case I said it wrong. We will be covering why the marketing tactics you've been taught keeps you under earning, the coaching that I've genuinely and recently actually given my clients that's helped them 2 to 8x their cash income without hyperfixating on business and results or how they're being perceived, and the 3 most overlooked marketing skills that help female founders of all backgrounds, industries, and business models create 100K on repeat. So go to the link in the show notes to register for the masterclass if you haven't already. And after that training, the doors to my signature program, Unlimited, that I just spoke about, will be opening. The investment is $4,500 for 6 months of daily coaching to me, which is very exciting. Just the most fun, fantastic, vulnerable community I can think of, and a bulletproof curriculum that gets every single one of our female founders 100% richer. I can't wait to see you there, and go bank on yourself today. Exciting news! The doors to my group program Unlimited are opening soon. This program is for female founders who want to build audacious self-belief and the skills to create $100,000 on repeat through confident marketing. The program is 6 months of weekly coaching, 30 plus bite-sized video curriculum, community support, and the 25% Richer Project, where we get you 25% emotionally and financially richer in terms of profit or pay. Doors open on Halloween, so October 31st, and are only open for 3 weeks, so mark your calendars. And those who join before November 2nd will receive a VIP day with me. Check the episode info for all the links, and thanks for listening.